Okay, friends. So yesterday I was saying the wrong day. Yesterday was day 116. Today is day 117. So, but not that it matters. But because we've got so many day counters going, it's hard to keep track. My hair is much blonder today. Thank you to Christine. My hair girl is Brianna, and I love Brianna. She does a great job. But Brianna was out of town, so one of her colleagues got my little card and got my little it's a little brighter. It always tones down after the first day, but I don't have white hair anymore. Well, I shouldn't say I have blonde hair still, but it covers the white that was here. So this is just the phase we're in. It'll fade a little bit, but this is the phase we're in because I have a 6-year-old still, and I'm just not ready for my white hair. I've had gray and white hair since I was 20. I don't know why. So I decided to stop and take a break into our video because just the time of night it is. Jeremy's about to go to sleep in Liberia. He had a good day today. He went to the Ministry of Gender. He got some mixed news, good news and bad news from them. There's a lot of concern that the U.S. Embassy Consular's Office is still putting undue pressure on the Ministry of Gender, of Children and Families and Social Protection, so the MOG, CSP, Gender, Children, and Social Protection. And they just say that there's just a lot of U.S. interference, and every time they try to move forward with this investigation in this case, they get more allegations from the U.S. Embassy that are just outlandish. The consular's office at the U.S. Embassy clearly has a problem with adoptions. There's also rumors that there's a certain consular that denies all Liberian visas to America no matter what. But if there's other people that have different descent that's not Liberia, he doesn't have a problem giving them visas. So if you're of a different descent, if you're Liberian, he's going to tell you no, you can't go to the U.S. And travel visas back and forth to the U.S. are just like travel visas anywhere. Like we had to get a travel visa to go to Liberia, or all the family does, and we have permission to be there for a year, but only 180 days at a time. So, we have to leave the country and come back after 6 months, but we can stay for a full year. So it's confusing. But we had to get permission for that. So people sometimes will want permission to come to the U.S. for educational purposes, to visit family, sometimes to get a medical procedure done or something like that. And they need these visas to be able to do that, and they can't get them unless the consular's office approves. So, but Jeremy went to the Ministry of Gender's office today and tried to explain to them that, our orphanage, these orphanages run based on collecting adoption fees. That's how they sustain their business. They're not making any money. As I said yesterday, there's no money in orphan care, but there are lives to be saved. So so basically there's 2 agencies that are barely hanging on, and our families, for our agency, and then the other families, we've all pulled together. We've given money to them. They've given money to us. We're doing everything we can to just band-aid these agencies to keep the kids there safe and keep their adoptions moving forward. We can't move the adoptions forward. That's being delayed by the government officials, and they can keep pointing fingers at each other if they want to, but at the end of the day, somebody needs to step up and be a good leader and work well as a team and get these adoptions done. We did confirm that as soon as we get our case history report signed, we can take custody of our kids immediately under Liberian law. But our case report won't be signed until the suspension is lifted, but we don't have to wait for extra permission for that. So that's good. But then we have to go through more steps. So the bottom line is I'm enjoying some aspects of being in America right now. In other aspects, I feel like I don't belong here. I feel like people look at me and they're so nice to me and so encouraging, but they don't really understand me. They don't really know what to do with me. I had to go to the pharmacy, and I was trying to get them to give us a 90-day supply of malaria medicine. And they were like, well, your insurance only pays for 30 days. I was like, I'm aware, but I can pay cash for the rest. It's doxycycline. It's very inexpensive. And they're like, yeah, but we don't have that much in stock. And I'm like, can you get it in stock? So, and I had some other things to pick up there too, but they were like, yeah, but we won't be ready until Monday or Tuesday. And I'm like, that's okay, because I'm not leaving until Wednesday morning to go back to Liberia. So I got to make a second trip there, but they were nice to me. And when I explained to them why I needed these prescriptions longer and everything, they're like, oh, that makes sense. That's a great thing that you're doing. And I'm like, thank you. And I appreciate them saying, oh, that's a great thing that you and your family are doing. You're adopting kids from Africa. But like, the consular's office at the U.S. Embassy is supposed to represent the American people. And all the people that I've talked to are like, way to go. But no one can actually help me do it. So that's a problem. So Jeremy went to the Ministry of Gender, took our kids with him, spoke with the government officials. And one thing that he said to them that he thinks really, really like resonated with them is these agencies and these orphanages are going to go out of business, and they're not going to be able to do any adoptions because they're going to lose. They don't have any throughput. They don't have any money coming in. They're not set up for long-term sponsorship. They're set up for adoption throughput, facilitated adoptions, and they just break even. They pay their employees and they break even, and they haven't, like, they can't even maintain a full staff right now the way things are going, because they haven't done any adoptions in so long between Liberia and China. Good grief. So, but Jeremy took our kids, he talked to them, but when he said that to the Ministry of Gender staff, and it's women that he's talking to, when he said that to them, it was like, they were like, oh, Lord Jesus. Like that resonated with them differently. And I'm like, where did you think that the money was coming from to keep these businesses afloat? So I was a little frustrated by that news. I was a little put off by that news, because it, to me, is common sense to think if you pause them out long enough, they're just going to go out of business. And I think that the consular, that has the specific guy that's been the main reason we've had so much conflict that we've heard, he is a specific, because he's of a different, like, national, like his ethnicity is unique to where he is. He's, because of his ethnic background, he's easy to pick out. You don't even need to know his name. You can just be like, this guy, and just say the race that he is. He's causing all these problems, and he's delaying throughput. He doesn't really care if things go out of business, but clearly, like, the Ministry of Gender staff did not consider that our orphanages could be going out of business. So that's sad. So I went to the bank today. I got the cash that I needed. I deposited a grant check that we had received. That's all good. I went to get my hair cut, as I already told you, which was nice. My hair, I'm glad I feel less like a lion, but maybe I'll look like a zebra now. I don't know. But I like it, and I'm ready. I feel better now, but I feel lighter. And then I went to the pharmacy, got that dealing with. I went to the bank and got the cash that I needed, got the grant that I needed. And then I went to Lowe's, and I got a kitchen sink water faucet, because I've been needing to fix ours for a long time. Jeremy and I, it's literally been broken for 4 years, but it's functional, so we haven't fixed it. But I think before we were to let someone rent our house, it needs to be fixed. So I was going to do that. So I went outside and I turned off the shut-off valves underneath our sink. One of them stuck. One of them turns off and one of them doesn't. So I had to turn off the main. So I didn't know how to turn off the main water valve. Jeremy sent me a picture and a paragraph of instructions. It's very easy. So I went and turned off the main water and did all that. And I was like so impressed. So I came back in, I started undoing my box, and realized that the thing that I got is too small. So I have 3 holes, and I got one that's for 3 holes, but it's not the right length. So I'm going to have to go back to Lowe's tomorrow and try to deal with that. So Anna saved me today. So I'm going to show you guys what we did upstairs, because I know I showed you guys before. And so instead of doing the sink, I'm going to do the carpet. I was going to just knock the sink out, because Jeremy is the most stressed out about the sink, because I think he's just worried I can't do it. And he wants me to ask our neighbors to do it. And I'm like, I just really, when you're a woman and you allow other people to come in your house to help you with things, and you're in a vulnerable time, you just have kind of a max capacity for that. Now, Anna is adopting from Liberia too, and Anna and I have become great friends, but I was joking with her that our friendship was going to change intimacy level once she saw my mess, because it did. She's like, is it like being friends with somebody and then all of a sudden they're there with you when you deliver a baby, and that changes you? I'm like, exactly like that. So here's the girls' room. Now, the bed here is gone. The carpet that's messed up here is covered. There's a king size mattress right there. I'm going to deal with that later. But there's no toys or mess anymore. And it's all boxed up and gone. So there's a bunk bed set. There's a dresser. This room had clothes. It was basically the girls' walk-in closet. It has 1 bed now. I haven't finished dealing with this dresser over here, but it won't be hard at all. And then, when you want to rent this? I think everyone should rent this. It's so great. And the closet is empty. So all my girls' stuff is pretty much emptied out. Which is good. Very good. Now this room is good. There are some clothes still here. And I need to move the bunk beds. And I got to move the mattress. But it's totally manageable. Like, we're talking, I could get everything in a box and be done. One of my kids' shoes is up here. They're not really allowed to bring shoes up here. Okay, so my next project, and I may try to time lapse this for you guys if I can, is, ignore the clothes. So this is our air conditioner unit, and the pipes here can get gunkety bunk in them and back up if you don't suck them out with a shop vac once a month or so. It's a Florida thing. It's hard to explain. But a little bit of water got under the carpet and soaked the pad. But it's only... see if I can show you this without... okay. It's really not that far. This was another thing. I think, like, this probably doesn't scare Jeremy for me to do it. Because it's not like, I don't really need... he just is like, why don't you pay someone? And I'm like, dude, we're spending like more money than I've ever even considered spending. So here's what happened. So water came underneath. So this little piece of carpet here, this is our air conditioner unit up here. So our handler thing, I guess you call it, is there. So a little water, and we fixed it. There's like a valve in there now, so it won't mess up again. But sadly, we didn't notice, and water got here. So I had to pull up the carpet pad, but it doesn't, it's just a small area. It's probably like less than 8 by 10. And the carpet's not that old. And so all I gotta do is peel back the carpet, cut an exact square, put down the carpet pad so it'll stay, staple it, which I need to go find my stapler, and then put on the seam tape to fix that part, and then stick it down, and I'm done. And then my carpet's fixed. Now, there's a part of me that's like, maybe no one would notice if I just left it, but there's also like a big rip seam. So I'm gonna fix it. I remember being excited when the leak happened because I was like, yes, because I hate carpet and I don't want carpet. But there's like, I mean, there's 5 bedrooms up here, four bedrooms, but 1 bedroom that used to be 2, and now it's 1, knocked down a wall. And this is going to be expensive to floor, like expensive to fix. But I'm going to take you guys into my closet. So basically all the kids' toys, all the kids' clothes, mine and Jeremy's stuff, everything is in this closet. And I actually still have some room left over. I'm pretty pumped about that. That was really hard. So let's go back downstairs. So I've got to move all this stuff out of the way so I can work on the carpet. I'm going to do surgery on the carpet pad, replace it. I found some carpet padding. And then tomorrow, I guess I'll go back to Lowe's and actually look at the picture with the measuring tape on it and pay more attention. Because I was like, oh, that's on sale. And it says it's a 3-hole, it's for a 3-hole, but it's not for like what I have. So I don't know. So that's what's happening there. And so I can't really cross off anything yet on my list here because I haven't done it. Nothing in here is completely done. I've done a lot, but my original list of what to do, I haven't done. And I needed to wash more things in the washing machine, but I forgot to buy detergent. So, and I keep feeling like I have more time because when you live in Liberia, it doesn't really matter what day it is. So it's just like this weird endurance game. It doesn't matter what day it is because you're just still going. But that's kind of my travel And I woke up this morning and I was super sore in weird muscle groups that I haven't used in a while. So I got some Outback takeout for dinner, so I ate. Because yesterday I kind of forgot to eat. Like, I had some sushi in the afternoon, but like at 9 or 10 o'clock I was like super hungry, and I don't really have any food here that's like not expired. Or I think I have some crackers. So anyway, those of you that know me know that Jeremy feeds me. Now, and 100% I know that Tia and Paul are right across the street, and even whether they're there or not, I can probably go over there and eat. There's probably stuff in the fridge I can have, but I haven't gotten that desperate yet to go over there. I am going to go over there and eat with them at some point, but I'm kind of in mode of cleaning. And I have used to be a liquor cabinet right there, that brown and black cabinet. If you've ever been to my house, you know what's behind there. If you haven't, consider yourself lucky. It's I call it Mommy's office. It's kind of like my junk drawer. So we're going to do the carpet first, because that needs to be done first. And then I'm going to consider tackling that closet. But I don't know where I'm going to put anything. I need to probably throw a lot of it away. It's like, so the stuff it's got weird stuff in there. Like my sewing kit's in there, and there's a bucket in there of like dry erase markers that I don't want to just leave out, because, sometimes you don't want kids playing with dry erase markers. There's like probably a hot glue gun in there. It's just random stuff there are probably 30 categories in that one container of stuff. And I fear it. I'm going to be honest. I fear it. But it's going to be okay. I'm going to make it. Embarrassing story. Not really that embarrassing, but just this is how kind of tired and braided that I am by the end of the day here, is I went to Lowe's and got the faucet. I got the carpet pad. I got all the stuff I need for that. And then I got some more totes, like moving boxes, like the black totes with the yellow lids because I ran out, and I need some more for some more things. And I forgot, I only got 4 lids instead of 5. I got 5 boxes of 4 lids. So I had to go back in Lowe's carrying a lid and because I wanted to make sure I matched the right size. It was embarrassing, because every time you buy those things, there's just notes everywhere. Don't forget your lid. Don't forget your lid. But of course, it's all self-checkout too. So it's like nobody was helping me. So there was that. But anyways, things are good. So Jeremy was able to advocate for our kids today. I was able to move some mountains of work here. I wish I would have gotten some coffee creamer. Anna brought me a Diet Coke, which they're going to drink now or later, or maybe a little bit of both. Our couch is clean again, so that's good. I think I'm going to move the coffee table back in here from the movie room, because it doesn't get much use there. And yeah, I think I'm moving in the right direction. It was funny because Anna and her kids were here. 2 of her kids were here too, and they were so helpful. And it's weird because so she's here helping me, bringing her children, and Jeremy at the same time was at the orphanage visiting our kids and her kids. So Anna and Jeremy and I were on different continents, spending time with each other's kids and our own kids. So Jeremy's by himself in Africa, but he has all 5 of our kids in one spot and 2 of Anna's kids. So there's 7 kids. And then here, Anna and I were here together working on my house to try to get it rentable, so that obviously we don't want to lose our house, or we don't want to go into debt for this adoption. We've stayed out of debt so far. If you want to make a tax-deductible donation, it's in the description. Thank you if you do. But it's very just kind of like a surreal experience, because Anna and I were talking today, and I was telling her something about one of her Liberian daughters, and she's just like, can I just stop you and say it's so cool that someone that I know knows her, really knows her, doesn't just know her name or maybe even her favorite color or whatever, but really is her friend. When I see her when she lives in the States, it will be it's a familiarity that even her parents don't have with her yet, but someone does. And it's just a relief, I think, to know that your child that you can't reach, that needs you, that loves, that you love these kids so much. When we see their pictures, it's like seeing ultrasound pictures. you feel like, as a mom, and dads too, of course, I don't know, I mean, sometimes it's different, but as a mom, I feel my kids' pain. And I remember when I met my kids at the orphanage, I met Anna's kids shortly after, and I actually burst into, like, I just wept because I was just so, like, it's just like a privilege, but it's just so like an unnecessary grief that I'm feeling for my friend that's not here to say hello to her kid. But I have this moment to give her children hope that, like, they are coming, they do exist, I know them well. It's just this place of privilege that comes from a place of grief and loss and separation for these kids. And you know, Jeremy, like, he went to the orphanage a couple days ago, and he was kind of blue about it. He just really said it was just sort of, but then today when he went, he got everybody, they call them biscuits, but they're cookies. He got everybody little cookie packets. He was a little more engaged, I think, a little more talkative, and a lot more involved in the day at the orphanage. And he spent a lot of time with Anna's kids and our kids, everybody's kids, like the Butler's kids, the Whitney's kid, like, all of your kids know us and they like us, and not just because we bring them cookies and jump ropes and all the fun stuff that you guys send, but they've gotten to know us and they love us. And I think just having a proxy that can know your kid, like when Anna said that to me, can I just stop and say how amazing it is and how good it is that someone knows her that I know. And I got to thinking about it. And then Jeremy said he was talking to our oldest Liberian daughter, and she will be 8 next week. And so I got to get back in time for her 8th birthday. And Jeremy asked her, sorry, I'm like really makeup smeared now. I got emotional about just the whole situation. But he was like, what do you want for your birthday? And he even showed all the kids videos of like us singing happy birthday to our American kids in Liberia, and they were opening presents and just doing their birthday thing. The singing of the happy birthday, they understand because they do that at the orphanage. But when they have birthdays, they don't necessarily get unless their parents have sent presents, they don't really get presents. And I was like, well, I mean, our Liberian kids have gotten birthday presents because we've sent them. And he's like, yeah, but they didn't get to ask for things. Because he was asking her, like, what do you want for your birthday? And I was like, oh, what'd she say? I'm going to Target, you know? And she said anything. My oldest Liberian daughter, who's about to turn 8, anything. And he's like, he didn't really understand what she said. He was, like, thinking that it was, like, a specific thing. And he's like, can you write it down for, like, first he was like, tell me again. And she said anything. And it was just he was so brokenhearted because he just wanted to understand what she was asking for. And that was a big deal for him. And then he asked her a third time. He's like, can you just like get a piece of paper and write it down for me? So he pulled like a piece of paper out of the backpack and had her write down, because she can write and read a little bit. And she wrote anything, like ANYTHING. And he said that it was all he could do. It was like, oh, she's never been able to ask for any presents specifically. Like, we let our American kids make a list of what they want, and then we let their sisters shop from that list. But she said anything. So even though she's gotten presents before from us, and maybe she said birthdays where she never got a present, I don't know, she knows her birthday, but anything. So I just want to let that resonate with you guys. When you ask your children, your American children, what they want for their birthday, by the time they're 3 or 4 years old, they're making pretty serious, specific requests. And as I packed up my children's toys today with the help of Anna and her daughters, and I can't thank them enough. That was amazing. Thank you, Anna. It was just like a huge surrender on my part to just let you guys come in here, because I need the help. But it's like, you don't want to show everybody your mess. And like, we were cleaning out under my couch cushions, which is so gross because I'd washed the covers. So it was a lot. And like, her daughter's like, can I vacuum this? And I'm like, sure, if my vacuum works. And then we had to fix my vacuum, and it was just a whole thing, but it was good. It was really good to bond with them in that way. And in a time of need, someone can really like save you in a way that lasts forever. And that's good. And those are good friends to have. More of those, please. But anything from almost 8-year-old for her 8th birthday, anything. And it's heartbreaking, but it's also really motivating for me to not miss any more birthdays. Like, we're not going to come home. I mean, the U.S. Embassy is like, oh, you're not required to stay in country. And the Liberian government is like, you're not required to stay in country. And I'm like, to hell with that. This is my kid. Like, I'm not, unless you legally force me to leave the country, I don't know how much I'm willing to, a lot. How much am I willing to sell, give, create, make, to not miss any more birthdays? Anything would be good for her. She doesn't even know how to request things specifically. And, you know, when I ask the nannies at the orphanage if there's anything that they need, they say anything that you bring, we will use. And it's hard to get them to be I'm like, I want you to be specific. Like, I got to know them. I know about how their day goes. I know what their job requirements are. I know these kids enough to know the strengths and weaknesses that they have and the things that the nannies have to do to keep them emotionally stable as well as physically healthy. So I get all of that. So now I can tell them I know I can appropriately intervene in ways that matter. But anything. I've never asked a kid, what do you want for your birthday? And had them tell me anything. They're just so grateful that we know it's happening. So, so I don't know what I'm going to get her for her birthday, but I'm definitely going to go shopping for her and get some good, cool things. And to those parents that are grieving the days lost with your kid, I just want you to know that we do know them and we love them so much. And it is exhausting to know that these children are waiting unnecessarily because there's government conflicts and political conflicts that are misplaced. Like, they look racist, to be honest. I don't know that for sure that they are, but they look evil. And I just want to know for sure that this is like going to get better. But even if it doesn't, I want you to know that your kids are very known and very loved by us and by the people that are caring for them. And I am working as hard as I can. I am running around Cape Coral as if I'm on fire, trying to make this work. Not just for us, but for everyone. Because I just can't leave there with this completely, like, it's unnecessary. So I'm enjoying running around Cape Coral, and now I'm like really weeping and crying. But I need to pull myself together. These kids are going to do amazing things as adults. And they're going to create structures and processes that are better than the ones they're living today. We're going to help them. But in the meantime, as we endure this unresolved conflict, there is some type of evil intent in a place of power right now that needs to be removed. And I feel like I don't talk about my faith as much on these videos as I could. And to be honest, there are times that I don't have the words that are the right words. Or I don't have words that I can live with on a public forum long term. I just know for a fact that God is still God. And that He wants us to work together as a team. And He wants us to choose for ourselves what's right. Like, choose the right path on our own. And try to compassionately assist other people as we do that. And I know that doing the right thing is not always black and white. It's not always clear. But I will say this. There's not a lot of gray area on what to do if a kid is an orphan. There's just not a lot of gray area there. And as I feel like I stand in this gap of trying to advocate for the children and the parents at the same time, I'm just, at times, I'm like, I'm in over my head. I'm not in a gap, I'm in a hole. But in that hole and in that gap, kids are just slipping through. And sometimes I just feel like we're grasping at straws just to try to keep it together so that we don't lose the avenue that we have and the connection that we have with our kids and those other kids that are there. And so, in terms of our prayers and our faith and the reason I don't talk about my faith a lot openly is I try to just live in such a way that it's not questioned. I don't have to say I do this because Jesus says that, because it's what Jesus did and I like the way he does things. I mean, that's the bottom line. I like those processes. But I'm like literally snotty now. Sorry. Use the black shirt. So I'm going to continue to run around Cape Coral as if I'm on fire. I'm going to continue to accept help when I am upright enough to receive it. I'm going to continue all these projects that probably needed to be done before. And I've surrendered so much. Like, we've surrendered our finances, we've surrendered our times, we've surrendered our children's health and happiness and safety as they live in Liberia, which is ranked 187 in 195 countries for economic prosperity. You can imagine where America ranks in economic prosperity is pretty high. But at 187th. And we have done everything we can. I mean, our bank accounts they're okay for the moment, but we got to rent this house to hang in there much longer. So now we're surrendering our house. I drove around Beater Box, my Yukon. My Yukon that was a rescue. He's a salvage title. His air conditioner only works in the back seat. Now, I definitely wouldn't ride back there today. I guess I got to sell Beater Box I could sell Beater Box. I may have to sell Beater Box if I rent my house. I won't have anywhere to park him. But I just want you to know that all in is the biggest understatement for me right now. But I am not leaving Liberia as a U.S. citizen until these doors are unlocked for these kids. And I don't know, it'll cost me everything. Maybe we just sell our house. Who knows? I've heard that real estate in Florida is worth a lot. But I'm sorry, I got all blubbery, and I'm sorry this is a 32-minute video. But I'm about to go work on carpet. I just want you guys to know that, like, these kids are important. And we're not leaving them there, no matter what. And we're not, we're discouraged today. Jeremy and I are pretty discouraged today because we just don't see an end yet. We're making a lot of friends here. I do feel like, I just feel like I'm an astronaut. I'm in like an astronaut suit, and people are looking at me like, wow, it's so cool you're an astronaut. But like, they would never go to space. Like, I would never go. And like, astronauts are cool, but you would never want to be like them. I feel like I'm walking around in a world right now where everybody's looking at me like I'm an astronaut, and they think it's cool, but they would never do it. And that makes me sad. Now, not Anna. I spent all day with Anna, or the morning till lunchtime with Anna and her kids, and they are doing it. So they're like fellow astronauts. They haven't been to Liberia yet, so they're kind of like astronauts in training, I guess. But other than that, everyone's really nice to me, but they just look at me like, I would never do what you're doing. I think it's cool, but I wouldn't do it. And kind of makes me feel lonely. So I don't have any, Jeremy's not with me. That's why this video is so long. I don't have any hard stops other than my own life. So I'm going to go work on carpet. Thank you guys for listening.